And welcome everybody, it's Dan Latto speaking, hope you're well today. So welcome to a Mindset and Hustle show. In today's session I want to talk about mental well-being, really. Obviously this is something, we're just at the end of November, which is supposed to be Men's Mental Health Month. And whilst that may be the case, I find a lot of what goes on in November when we talk about men's mental health is just really surface level stuff. And men should talk more, yeah, agree with that. But then when we look at putting things in place to enable men to talk more, let's not bother doing that. And I find that it's really hypocritical. This is kind of my biggest issue with it. And of course we could talk about, family law and access for guys getting access to their kids again. Let's not even go down that path. I'm pretty much sure that you know what my thoughts are on that. So I just wanted to cover some things that I think would be useful for going into 2024 from a point of view of offering better mental health tips, but also that when we go into 2024, it's not that everything magically becomes right and everything just magically works and all the stars align and the world's amazing, because I don't think that really happens. But really it should be about having some checks and balances in 2024 that we didn't have in 2023, so that we can improve the results of 2024. And so what I'm going to go through is some things that I think will probably help you. These are definitely some of the things that help me, and I thought it'd be useful to share these so that as you go into 2024 you can analyze what you're doing compared with 2023 and improve that as you move forward. So obviously, recording your progress is really vital, and we'll talk about that a little bit later on. But the first bit, I think, is just controlling your early morning thoughts. Now, I don't know about you, but I know that when I first wake up on a morning, my brain is open to all sorts of junk getting in there. And so I clamber my way out of bed, I go and hit the shower. I'll let the dogs out first, then I go to the shower. By the time I'm in the shower, my brain is coming up with a load of bullshit, right? So my brain is coming up with the argument that I had when I was 9 years old, or the argument that I had when I was 13-year-old, or the issue that I had when I was 22. I'm 51 now, or whatever, right? And I don't know if you're like this, but I know for me, my brain just comes out with all sorts of bullshit first thing on the morning. And I find that what I have to do is actually control those thoughts. Sometimes they're positive thoughts, and that's really good, and I don't have to necessarily control those kind of thoughts. But those negative ones, I have to kind of go, oh, that's a negative thought, and I have to put it to one side, and then I have to think of something more positive that I can think about so that I'm not having these negative thoughts. And they're not necessarily negative, it's just sometimes we overanalyze some of the stuff that we did 30 years ago or when you were a kid, right? And so this over-analysis can end up being a negative thought. And it's just really about removing that. And it's not about deleting it entirely, because it might be a valid thought that you're having because of something that you dreamt about or something like that. So it might be that you might want to actually have a think about whatever that thought was a little bit later on in the day. But when it's first thing and you're just coming round, like your first, I don't know, we have 84,000 thoughts a day or whatever it happens to be. Usually it's 84,000, 76,000 of the same ones, right? So if you're going to have the same thoughts, why not have the same positive thoughts rather than something negative? And I think that's just really something that you need to focus on so that you can improve how your early morning routine gets and the type of mood that you're going to find yourself in as well. Because why would you want to start off the day with some negative thought processes? The argument that you had when you were 13 with somebody at school, even though it's like 30 years ago, how is that 40 years ago? How is that even going to help you in today? It's not. You can't change what happened in the past. And so actually going, okay, that is that negative thought, or that's something that I can't do anything about. Let's get rid of that. Let's think about what good stuff have I got to look forward to today, this week, this month, for next year as we're heading towards 2024. And so it's about changing how you start your day and how you approach your day from being something negative that you think might maybe, you don't have any control over, to, okay, no, actually I can control what thought processes I'm going to have to start your day off better. Because if you think your day is going to start off bad, or if you bang your elbow and you go, well, whoa, that's ruined my day, chances are you're probably right. But if you bang your elbow and you go, well, that's a really good luck symbol for the rest of the day, then that's probably correct as well. So you've got all these choices in life that we can make about what thoughts you actually have, what thoughts you want to start off your day, and why start off a day negative when actually you can just change those thoughts and start off with something a bit more positive. So that's something that you can do. The next one is just to recognize the signal. So when you feel yourself going down a particular darker path, and I think we can all kind of feel that that's coming along. I certainly can. And it's just about recognizing, oh, I'm having some negative thoughts here, or some darker thoughts, or some thoughts that are not conducive to me feeling good. How about I change some of those thoughts and I have more positive thoughts? And we would call that, by the way, in NLP, we would call that a pattern interrupt, where you interrupt the pattern. First of all, in order to interrupt the pattern, you have to recognize the signals that you're actually having and what's going on in that pattern. And when that's recognized, you should have some pre-existing pattern interruptions. So when you recognize that you're going down a darker path, or you're having some negative thoughts, or some, not negative thoughts, but some thoughts that are not conducive to you having a good day, you should recognize that. And then, well, what are the things that you could do to have some better thought patterns, to interrupt the negative ones, to go, oh, I'm having some negative thought patterns, and to go, actually, I'm going to have some positive ones. So first bit is you've got to recognize them, listening to your own thoughts, listening to your own head. If you talk to yourself like I do, which some people find weird and other people think, yeah, that's normal, listening to the words that come out of your language. If you're speaking to people, listen to those words again. When people go, how are you doing today? Listen to the language that you're using. And then you can recognize that some of the things that you're saying to yourself are not conducive to you having a good day. And so then we're into pattern interrupts. And what would those pattern interrupts be? So one of them, for example, let me just put this back here. One of them would be to go for a walk. I'm having a problem with my little arrow here. Here we go. Let me move that. My PC keeps freezing for some reason. Not quite sure why. But one of them, in terms of pattern interrupting, is just to get up, go for a walk. I've got a basketball net outside, so every so often I'll just go and shoot some hoops, which I really enjoy. Going to the gym is really good. Walking the dog's really good. Putting on some music. Going and just stopping completely whatever it is that you happen to be doing and going to do something else. Maybe it's lunchtime, maybe it's going to the shops and buying some food, maybe it's buying some coffee, or doing, for me it's potatoes and coffee and all, the little food shop that I have to do every couple of days. Maybe it's just going out and doing that. But really this is about pattern interrupting the thought processes that you're having. So you can go, okay, some of these thought processes aren't positive. What are the thought processes that I could put in place instead that would make me feel better? And certainly going for a walk, taking a break, all of those things are really useful. And all of this really comes from recognizing the signals that maybe you're having not the most conducive or well-being, good, positive thoughts that you should be having, and then interrupting those more negative thoughts and going, okay, maybe I can just swap it up and do something else completely. And then just the final bit on this one really is about recording your progress in some way. So for example, you can have a mood chart. So a mood chart is basically 7 days in a week. So you have a piece of paper with 7 days. You've got a line in the middle, and then you've got plus 10, and then you've got below 10, and each day is a column, Monday through Sunday. And then what you can do is you can go, okay, well today was a plus 7. I'm having a good day today. Today's a plus 7. Or maybe you're having a really bad day, so it's a minus 10. And part of this is just to recognise these to and fro's each week, to recognise whereabouts you are on that path. And just by looking at something, you can change the thing itself. So if you're having a good week and you've got loads of plus 7s, that's awesome. So then the thought process could be, I'm having a really good week. Let's keep it going. Let's keep the momentum going. Let's keep doing what I'm doing because I'm clearly feeling good. And by the way, if you're feeling good, your results will be good, right? And if you're feeling bad, your results will probably be reflective of how you're feeling right now as well. But then if you are feeling bad and you minus 7, minus 8, minus 10 on a few of those days, the question you should be asking yourself is, okay, what am I going through right now? And it might be obvious, you're going through a separation or a divorce, or business is not going well, or whatever, right? People are ill, or you're ill, or whatever. So it might be a negative one. It's like looking at what is that thing? And is there a way for me to avoid it altogether? Is there a way for me to recognize that I'm having some negative thoughts and pattern interrupt it and put some more positive thoughts in there? And it may be that you can't even think of any positive thoughts. In which case, I would suggest that you flip the piece of paper over and you write a list of 10 things to feel good about. And we're really bad at this, by the way. Humans, we're so good at looking at what's wrong. We're really, really bad at looking at what's good. And actually getting a piece of paper and writing those down and acknowledging the things that are feeling good that you can improve upon. And so that when you're feeling bad, you just move your focus onto the things that you feel good about and you think about those. And again, I'm not saying that you deny the things that are bad. If you've got bailiffs knocking on the door, it's quite difficult to ignore. Or if you're getting letters through the post because you're not having your bills paid, that can be quite negative. But just being able to move your things over to feeling more positive and focusing on the things that are going to change that circumstance. If you've got bailiffs knocking on a door and bills coming through and you're feeling really bad all the time, where are you finding time to feel really good? And where are you finding time to actually do the work so you can earn some money to stop the bills piling up? It's really difficult. So you need to allocate time to deal with all that stuff, and the rest of the time really needs to be around you moving forward in your life and having a more positive life. But recording this progress as you're going through life, I think, is really, really valuable for you. Anyway, as usual, we are rammed. We've got like 5 or 6 strategy sessions today. We are really busy. But I just wanted to share some of those things as you're moving towards into 2024 that I think will help you if you are going through some of these more negative times, and just some examples of some well-being tips that I think will help you as you move into next year. Anyway, I hope that's useful. We'll catch up with you on the next one. My name's Dan Latto. Have a wicked day. Take care.